Dear students, in the previous lectures we have seen how to find rank of a matrix. Now let's move on to the next concept, lecture 2, inverse of a matrix by elementary operations. We did so many problems on finding inverse in your previous classes. How do you find the inverse of a matrix there? You find the inverse of a matrix by finding minors and then cofactor matrix and then adjoint of a matrix, and then you find determinant, and then you are going to use one formula to find inverse. This is how you find the inverse of a matrix in your previous classes. Now here also we have to find inverse of a matrix, not by minor method, but rather we are going to employ elementary operation methods. By using elementary operations we are going to find inverse of a matrix. You have studied inverse by binary method. Okay, for example, if I have a matrix, say a simple matrix 2 cross 2 matrix, say A is equal to 2 3 1 4, what you are actually done in your previous class is you are finding cofactor of each and every element. Cofactor of 2 is 4, cofactor of 3 is -1, and so on. After writing all the cofactors, then you write the cofactor matrix, you transpose that cofactor matrix, you will get adjoint of that matrix, and then you find the determinant of that matrix. Then you use this formula, A inverse is equal to 1 divided by determinant of A into adjoint of A. So this is what we get, 1 by 5 into this matrix. This is how you find the inverse of this matrix. But how do you make sure that this matrix is the inverse of the given matrix A? You remember, to say that one is the inverse of the other, you multiply both of those two matrices, then you must get the identity matrix. Okay, yeah, note that A into A inverse. If I multiply A with its inverse, that is this matrix A, its inverse is 1 by 5 times this matrix. 1 by 5 constant, take that outside. Multiply 2 3 1 4 with 4 minus 3 minus 1 2. You know how to multiply those two matrices. You will get 5 0 0 5. Multiply 1 by 5 inside, so 5 gets cancelled, we get 1 here, so we get 1 0 0 1. This is the identity matrix. What I mean to say is, if I multiply the matrix A with its inverse, we are going to get the identity matrix. So this concept is going to use in order to find the inverse of the matrix. To say that A is the inverse of the matrix B, then we must get the product AB, that is equal to, or the product BA is equal to identity matrix. This method is used in order to find the matrix inverse of a matrix by elementary operations. Okay, so if you see, observe one thing, does inverse exist for all matrices? No. So inverse does not exist for all matrices. Inverse of course exists only for single, what is that, square matrices. All squared matrices does not possess inverse, you remember. To exist inverse, the matrix A should be non-singular square matrix. What do you mean by non-singular matrix? So you have to recall the types of matrices, as I said in the very first video, you recall the types of matrices. There you come across singular matrices, non-singular matrices, and so on. So non-singular matrix is the one for which determinant of that matrix is not equal to 0. You keep it in mind. So determinant of A or that matrix is not 0, then that matrix is said to be the non-singular square matrix. See, so to say inverse of that matrix exists, the matrix should be non-singular matrix. Then we can find another matrix. So if A is any non-singular matrix, then only its inverse exists. That inverse of that matrix is again another matrix. I call that matrix say B. So A is non-singular, inverse of that is again another matrix. I call that matrix as B, so that if I multiply A with B, then you are going to get the identity matrix I. You multiply A with B, or we multiply B with A, both are same, and both the values are equal to the identity matrix, where I is the identity matrix, or sometimes we call unit matrix of order n. Okay, yes. Then we say A is invertible. If any two matrices satisfy this condition, you take A and B, any two matrices for that matter, if they satisfies this condition, AB into AB is equal to BA is equal to identity matrix, then we say that A is the inverse of B, or B is the inverse of A. We say A is invertible and inverse of A is B. In symbolically, we write it as A inverse is equal to B. If A is singular, then inverse does not exist. You keep it in mind that if A is singular, singular means determinant of that matrix A is equal to 0, then inverse of that matrix does not exist. To find inverse by elementary operations, first what you have to do is, we have to write the matrix like this. A is equal to In into A. What is In here? In is the identity matrix of order n. If A is the 3 cross 3 matrix, then you have to write here 3 cross 3 identity matrix. If A is of 2 cross 2 matrix, then you have to write here 2 cross 2 identity matrix. This is the first step you have to remember. Okay, so now I am telling you how to find the inverse of a matrix by row operations. Okay, this is the first step. The first step is write down the matrix like this. A is equal to In into A, identity matrix into A, where I is the unit matrix of order n. This is the first step you should remember. A is equal to In into A. Next, by using elementary row operations, we reduce LHS matrix A to unit matrix. Now we have to make use of series of row operations to make this matrix A, or to reduce this matrix A to the identity matrix. So you know the row operation means you apply the series of row operations to reduce the matrix A to the unit matrix. Okay, LHS matrix, this is LHS A matrix is this one. Okay, you have to apply the row operations for this one to make it unit matrix. Next, so what are all the operations you have to apply here? The same operations have to be applied on this In, unit matrix in RHS. Okay, every operation applied on A in LHS should also be applied on In RHS. You operate A with any operation, the same operation has to be applied on In also. Okay, don't apply that operation on this RHS A. Okay, we have to apply the operations on A, the same operation on In. You retain this A as it is. Next, so like this, if I continue by applying the series of operations, we have to reduce the matrix A to the identity matrix. In the end, you are going to get In in the LHS. That is equal to this In, after applying the series of operation, turns out to be some another matrix. I call that as a B. Okay, in the end, this In matrix will get changed. It will not identity matrix now. After applying the series of operation, it will get changed to another matrix. I call that as B. So this matrix you write down that as it is B, that is A. So that A into B is equal to identity matrix means this B is the inverse of this A. Or in general, sometimes we write this B as A inverse. So A into A inverse is equal to In means at last we get the inverse of that matrix A. Okay, so which implies B is the inverse of A, that is A inverse is equal to. This is how we find the inverse by using elementary operations. Okay, let us see some problems on finding inverse of a matrix by elementary row operations. Find the inverse of the matrix by elementary row operations. In the examination, they are going to ask you like this: find the inverse of the following matrix by using row operations. The first problem is A is equal to 3 cross 3 matrix 0 1 2 2 0 1 1 2 0. This is the matrix A. So now the solution: first write down the given matrix. A is equal to 0 1 2 2 0 1 1 2 0. Okay, so in order to find the inverse, the method of applying row operations are same as that of the finding the rank of a matrix. Okay, the method is: you first identify what is the leading entry of first row, make below elements to be equal to 0. But one thing here you have to remember is that you have to make the elements below leading entry 0. Not only that, you have to make elements above leading entry are also to be equal to 0. This is the one major difference between the previous problem, that is the method of finding the rank, and also the finding inverse of the matrix. Okay, yes, see, observe the matrix A. Here the matrix A, the first row is 0 1 2. You have to identify the leading entry of the first row. This is 0. Obviously this is not leading entry. This one is the leading entry, of course, but before deciding that one is the leading entry, you make sure that there are no non-zero elements below this 0. But here, of course, there are two non-zero elements are here. If these two becomes 0 elements, then this one becomes the leading entry. But this is not a leading entry here, because below 0 there are two non-zero entries here. Of course, in R3 one is there. So therefore we have to make the row operation like this. Okay, before that you write this one: let A is equal to I3 into A. Let A is equal to I3 into A. This is the important thing you should remember. So that is you write down in place of A the given matrix is equal to I3 means the unit matrix of order 3 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. You write down A as it is. Don't write the matrix here like this. In the RHS case, you write down A as it is. Don't write the matrix. You carry A as it is. Next, yeah. So now see, to identify the first row. See, our intention is, after writing this A is equal to I3 into A, we have to apply a series of operations to reduce this LHS matrix to the identity matrix. What are all the operations we have to apply? The same operation has to apply on the identity matrix in RHS. See here. 0 we get here, therefore here 1 is there, therefore I have to swap R1 with R3. Okay, so therefore we have this operation: R1 changes to R3, R3 changes to R1, R1 implies and implied by R3. Okay, after doing this operation, the matrix is now reduces to okay. After swapping first row with third row in LHS, we get this. Do the same operation in RHS identity matrix also. So therefore the first row comes in the third row place 1 0 0 here, and third row elements goes to the first row element 0 0 1. So what next is, we have to make the first row leading entry is 1. We have to make below elements to be equal to 0. We have to make this element 0, but no need to make this element 0, it is already 0. Therefore we have to make this element 0. Therefore for that the operation is R2 changes to R2 minus 2 times R1. You already know how to write this operation. Okay, after doing that operation on LHS, we get this matrix. First row I am not changing, 1 2 0. Second row I am changing 2 minus 2 times 1, that is 0. 2 minus 2, 0 minus 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 0 minus 4 is minus 4. Next 1 minus 2 times 0, that is 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. This is what is the second row, and third row I am not changing. The same operation has to be applied in on this matrix also. So you see I am not changing first row 0 0 1, and second row I am changing using this operation R2 minus 2 times R1. 0 minus 2 times 0 is 0, therefore we get 0 here. Next 1 minus 2 times 0, therefore we get 1. Now come here 0 minus 2 times 1. 0 minus 2 times 1 is 2. 0 minus 2 is minus 2. I am not changing third row 1 0 0. What next? You have to identify what is the leading entry in the second row. Obviously this is second row, the leading entry here is minus 4. Actually we have to make this leading entry in second row to be equal to 1. You carefully observe here, every leading entry must and should be equal to 1. In the case of finding rank, we need not bother about that, but here we have to make sure that every leading entry must be equal to 1. So to make this element 1, we can do one thing. We can divide the second row by minus 4, so that minus 4 by minus 4 is plus 1. But if I do like that, this element becomes fraction minus 1 by 4. Okay, but luckily below this minus 4 we are having 1 here, Okay, so therefore what we can do is, instead of dividing second row by minus 4, I swap third row with second, so that 1 comes here, so leading entry becomes 1, so that operations are easy. Okay, suppose in case of this 1, if I have in place of 1 say 3 4 7 like that, inevitably we have to divide the second row by minus 4, no option there, but luckily we are having 1, therefore we can make a swapping. Okay, so to make the leading entry of second row to be equal to 1, so therefore the operation now is R2 implies and implied by R3, swap R2 with R3. With that, the matrix now equivalent to, I am not changing R1, so therefore 1 2 0 R1 as it is, and R3 and R2 get swapped, therefore we get 0 1 2 0 minus 4 1. Same operation has to be done here also, 0 0 1. Now R3 goes to R2 place 1 0 0, R2 comes in the R3 place 0 1 minus 2. Now you observe the leading entry of the second row here is 1. Now we have to make this element 0. But remember, not only this element to be 0, we have to make the element above leading entry is also 0. In case of finding the rank, we need not bother about the entries above the leading entry. We make entries below the leading entries to be 0. But in case of finding the inverse, we have to make elements not only below the leading entry to be 0, but also the elements above the leading entry to be 0. Okay, yeah, see, to make this element 2 to be equal to 0, you see the 2 is in R1 row 1 place, so therefore what I do is I multiply the second row by 2 and subtract it from the first row, R1 minus 2 times R2. Therefore this element now becomes 0. Therefore the operation is R1 changes to R1 minus this minus 2 times this, then this element becomes 0. Okay, next we have to make this minus 4 below leading entry, it is also 0. For the to make this element 0, multiply the second row by 4, then add. So the operation is like this, R3 changes to R3 plus 4 times R2. If I do these operations, then the elements below this leading entry 1 and above the leading entry 1 turns out to be 0. And note that the same operation has to be applied to this matrix. Okay, yes. after employing those two operations, you see the matrix becomes, see here I get 0 and here I get 0. This element turns out to be -4 and this element turns out to be 9, and the same operation applied on this, we get this matrix. Okay, you see element below 1 and above 1 becomes 0. Next step is you identify what is the leading entry of third row. Obviously 9 is the leading entry of third row. You remember we have to make this element 1. How you make this element to be equal to 1? Yeah, so I use the operation like this. R3 changes to R3 divided by 9. Divide this entire row by 9. Then we get 0 by 9 0, 0 by 9 0, 9 by 9 is 1. Okay, yeah, see, doing that operation we get first row I'm not changing, second row I'm not changing, third row becomes 0 0 1. The same operation has to be applied here. I'm not changing first row, second row. In the third row inevitably we are going to get fractions here, 4 by 9, 1 by 9, minus 2 by 9. In finding the inverse of the matrices, it is not possible to avoid fractions. Okay, yeah, what next? After making this leading entry to be 1, we have to make below and above elements to be equal to 0. But there are no elements below this 1 leading entry, but there are elements above 1. We have to make these two elements 0. How do you make this -4 0? Multiply third row by 4 and add. How do you make this two elements 0? Multiply third row by 2 and then subtract. See, the first operation is R1 changes to R1 plus 4 into R3 and R2 changes to R2 minus 2 into R3. Applying these two operations to this matrix, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. Finally, the LHS matrix turns out to be identity matrix, and apply the same operations to the RHS matrix. So now R1 and R2 changes with these operations. Let us see what happens. Yeah, see, after applying those two operations, the LHS matrix turns out to be identity matrix, and the operations, see, on applying the operations, the RHS matrix turns out to be like this. So I have not shown the calculations. I have to calculate those calculations separately. You will get this matrix. Okay, so observe the matrix in LHS. This is identity matrix. So this will be your new matrix. We are going to call this as B, so that product A into B is equal to identity matrix. Product of two matrix is equal to identity matrix means this new matrix is the inverse of A. Okay, see, this is of the form I, this is your I, identity matrix, is equal to this big matrix is your A inverse into A. A into A inverse is equal to A. Therefore, in place of A inverse, we are having this matrix. Therefore, inverse of A, that is A inverse, is equal to this matrix. You observe each and every element in the matrix. 1 by 9 is common. Am I right? Therefore, you take that 1 by 9 outside. So, we get -2, 4, 1, 1, -2, 4 and so on. So, this will be your inverse of that matrix. Can anybody guess what is this 9? And what is this matrix? Obviously, this matrix is the adjoint of the given matrix. And what is the number 9 represents? Yeah, this number 9 represents determinant of that matrix A. So that adjoint by determinant. This is how we can find the inverse of the matrix by using operations. Got it? Thank you.